give you a red and a yellow card update. Not so many injuries. The only head injury assessments we had was called by the French, by the Italian match doctor on Gerard, where there was a head clash between their prop and our prop, and they called him off the field and he passed that. But then we had on Kirtley HIA, which they didn't call. So we'll see if Urchis, if he passed that. Apart from that, we don't have other injuries apart from the red card, which we got again. It is what it is. What I say here can't make a difference. I'm just very grateful that we had Ben O'Keefe on the 1AR side and the referee who's experienced, course. Obviously, we've got the referee mic on, and all the noise that was coming from there was difficult just to follow the match. So we later just put off the speaker, and I'm not saying there's in any negative way. It was just very busy and a lot of calls made from there. What I can say, it's sad that our captain in his 100th game and in his next game had to sacrifice, I always thought we want to get to 20-minute red cards and have a recheck on that. I thought that's the way to go. It's not my place to talk about it. But for a captain like him to twice in a week have to suffer for us to win because a call, I'm not saying that the referee made the wrong call, but I definitely saw a lot of other shots in the game that was the first tackle he took was right against the head. So, it's tough. I'm not saying anybody was wrong. I just thought the balance on calling the headshots was not as equal. So by that I'm not criticizing. That's what I experienced live. And when we review the game, we might come to a different conclusion and just see that we were totally wrong most of the time, and then we have to go and rectify it. Yeah, this is a brilliant Italy team, Italian team. Me and their coach is good friends. I mean, he was just in our change room. I know how good they are. I know how tough they are. They beat Australia last week. They drew France last year. They had one of their best seasons last year. They today had probably their best full-strength team. And for us, this win is big, and not because the changes we made this week is because the travel that we had. We finished at 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock at night, got up 4 o'clock, and had to go by flight and train and get here. And then the same as them who played Australia the previous week. So the reason why we picked 11 changes was because we wanted to have a fresh team that can try and match their energy, and they had lots of energy. So yes, it's tough. They also got a yellow card. They got a red-yellow card, which is, I thought, probably the right call. Losing 2-5 locks in 2 games for not going lower than they can low, it's tough to understand. And I'm not saying anybody's wrong by that, but we don't know how to coach guys more different to go lower. We are really a bit in a fix for a 2-meter guy and a 2.06-meter guy to go lower than a guy on his knee. It's tough. And to play with 13 men, they also were 14. Yes, it was difficult. I thought tougher than last week. It's right, but it's unfair on individuals like him, like Ben Jason Dixon, getting his chance for the first time in a long time, and then he had to be subbed for CR, last week off, this week again, 55 minutes. So making plans. The whole Eben was in there, Peter Steff was in there halftime. Everybody was making plans how to win the game. But we're a very proud team in the way we do level chains and try and avoid head contact. And we've received just so many red cards. Mapimpi 6 weeks, Jasper 6 weeks, and we're really trying hard because it's not just those guys who suffer in the game who suffer. I mean, we beat Italy with 14 men. It's for them, it's now embarrassment, But we know they're a good team. Even if we were 15, we were going to start to struggle. When I say embarrassment, it's we beat them with 14 men. but they also had 14 at one stage. So it's more what happens from those decisions, and for the referee, he doesn't have slow motions and all the things that happens there. He trusts very much on the team. I think it was two French TMOs, the TMO and the one AR. I'm not 100% sure. I think so. Um, you know, uh, yeah, we did get the better, but individuals suffer through for big moments and things that they can celebrate, and that makes us tighter as a team and makes us more desperate. But it doesn't take the hurt away from. So yes, we're glad that we could overcome that. But I'm a bit I'm sad for Ben Jason and for him. Of course, they are also guys who've they at the end have to take the brunt for what somebody else did by accident wrong, which then get a red card. So we're happy with the character, but I'm sad for the guys who cost the brunt.
No, I mean we went through it last weekend and this week again. We're going through the same thing. So we make plans in the game as we go because we know things happen. I mean, the biggest thing that we've been asked this week is to show our South Africanness, and that's making plans along the way. And there's always stumbles along the way, and that's what I'm grateful for with our coaching staff. They always prepare for any scenario, and the way the guys they buy in, and the guys that are not playing when then it happens, they sitting making plans and they come into Coach Rassie and they come and make decisions, but it doesn't make it easy on us. I know we can talk about like sacrificing for the team. It's not easy. It's not easy to, for a guy like Sosu sitting there, we can see the hurt in his eyes, and but yeah, I really love the way this team is just able to stand up and fight. And we always say, like, whatever happens in those four lines, we can still go as hard as we can and can control what we can control there. No, they played with heart from the beginning. It was difficult. It was a close game when we were 15 men all. It was a tight game. I think it went on for 20 minutes, 0-0. Yeah, like Coach Rassi said, they're a very strong team. We respect them always. We saw the group that they came into South Africa. We learned a lot from that. It was a lot of younger guys getting opportunities and they stood tall in that. And then I was at their game when they played France in France and they drew that game, which was a very close game where they could have won. And then now against Australia, we give Italy the respect that they deserve. And Coach Rassi knows the coach and knows him very well. So we worked hard and we were prepared for what they were going to do. And it was tight until the end. We had to fight and gun it out. And that's what we're good at. And the guys that came off the bench, they came and did their job. So, yeah, the whole game was difficult. And at the end, we were able to break through.
I'll start about the Italian players. I thought, there were, I think, 16 of them that played against us in the Italy 2 match in South Africa. But somebody asked me the other day if I can have one player. Obviously, there's lots of players in the world that are good and world class. But I think Mancello and Brex are just outstanding. I think they're physically up there. I think the hooker that started today made a massive difference. I think the way Gonzalez swapped the front rows was very clever with Ferrari coming on in the second half. I think the 6-2 split definitely put us under pressure. They mauled at us time. We rate this Italian team I always thought today was going to be one of the toughest games. I even thought that in 2019 when we played them in the one pool match. And we find the Italians and the Argentinians and the Welsh very similar to the South Africans. They've got big hearts and they are physical and they are proud and even Karbish, if I say the surname correct, they were lucky. He missed 3 kicks. Those 9 points could have made a massive difference with them taking the lead when we were down to 14 men. So overall, they can't be disappointed in this performance. And the way they physically manned up when we were running at them inside the 22 was unbelievably desperate and selflessness. They brought it to us. No, we've got Jean Klein ready. We've got Eben Etzebeth ready. we've got RG Snyman ready, and we've got Ruan who played today. So we've got still 4 locks, so we don't have to call up another lock.